Hey, if you like to hear the stories behind the guitars, stick around. Today we're going to play a couple of tunes, and then we're going to talk about this guitar. So let me tell you a little bit about this guitar. Before I start, I'll tell you I brought it outside today. It's a beautiful day. A little bit warm, a little warmer than I thought it was before I started, but hey, I'm here now, so we're going to try it. And we got a little bit of road noise from the traffic and the birds in the trees, but that's okay. So here we go. This guitar is a 2007 Gibson Advanced Jumbo, or AJ as they call it. This one is red spruce top, and it's East Indian rosewood back and sides. Real pretty set. That's the first time I ever learned to play on guitar. Most of my friends that play guitar say they learned to play the Wildwood Flower first, but not me. My daddy played that, and I watched him, and I went back in my bedroom and I learned how to play it by watching where he put his fingers. If it wasn't for my daddy, I probably wouldn't be playing a guitar. He didn't play a lot, and that's probably about the extent of any lead work they ever done, but he played a lot of the rhythm and stuff. So when he was growing up, he had two friends, Russell and Harry Bowen. Russell played the fiddle, Harry played guitar. And Harry's dad had bought him a Gibson flat top. That's what they called him then, was just a Gibson flat top. I don't know what model it was, and Harry's since passed on as well, by the way, and miss him a lot. Super guy. So my daddy told me this story that when he was growing up, he was born in 1934. So when he was growing up and you graduated high school, you either went into the military or you hauled moonshine, or hauled liquor is what they called it. They hauled liquor. And he didn't go into the military, so he hauled shine. And he got caught a few times. And the last time he got caught, in fact, he served a little over 2 years, almost 2.5 years in prison for it. And that was before I was born. He'd quit it and got it all behind him and out of his system, I guess, by the time I came along. But he did it. As he referred to prison as an occupational hazard. That's how he referred to it. The first time he got caught hauling shine, he was probably 18 years old, 19 years old maybe. And they called his daddy. And everybody knew everybody, of course. They called his dad. So my grandpa goes down there, goes into the jail, and says, "So what's it going to take to get you to stop hauling moonshine?" Well, my dad told him, he said, "I want a Gibson flat top just like Harry's got." Grandpa said, "All right, I'll go get you one. And when I bring it back, you're going to quit hauling shine, right? And you're going to," "Yeah, yep, that's right. Okay." So Grandpa disappeared. Grandpa never played an instrument of any kind. He's kind of a simple. He grew up on the farm, pulling a plow behind a mule, and that's nothing wrong with that. So he comes back to the jail a couple of days later with some guitar that he had found, probably in a pawn shop or the Western Auto or Sears, who knows. But it was not a Gibson. It was probably a Silvertone or a Stella or a Harmony, you know. He goes in there shows it to my dad, and of course my dad says, "That's not a Gibson." And my grandpa was like, "Well, Grady, you said you'd quit if I bought you a guitar, and I got you a guitar, so you got to quit now." And Daddy's like, "No, I told you I would quit hauling shine if you got me a Gibson flat top like Harry's." And of course Grandpa's like, "Well, a guitar is a guitar." Daddy's like, "No, it's not." So they're both hard-headed. So Grandpa left him in there, and my dad didn't quit hauling shine. And of course over the years he got caught many more times until the last time he'd had enough, I guess. So that kind of sums up the relationship my daddy had with his daddy. They were both stubborn. They were both hard-headed. And it kind of sums up a lot even of my relationship with my own dad at some point, I guess. My daddy was abusive. In fact, we lived on my grandpa's property for a short while when I was about 4 years old, until he and my daddy got into it about something, and they wound up coming to blows out in the middle of the dirt road we lived on. So for most of my growing up years, I wasn't around my grandpa. At some point, my daddy and his daddy worked it out, put it behind them, and I was able to spend some time with my grandpa before he passed away the last few years of his life, and I'm always going to be thankful for that. And there was a lot of things that happened when I was a kid that I had a hard time forgiving him for, and I did eventually. But a lot of years in there that we butted heads, and I think most people growing up butt heads with their parents. I would say it's safe to say most, at least. So maybe this story will kind of to reach some of y'all as well. So it took me a long time to forgive my dad for some of those things. And about the time I got this guitar, and this is how it came to be. This guitar was the prize that I took home in 2007. I won the Texas State flat picking guitar contest. My wife Lauren has always been really supportive of me in these contests, and every guitar I've ever been fortunate to win, she's always said, "It's yours, do what you want to do with it." We know how that goes, don't we, guys? But with this one, I told her if I got lucky and won, I wanted to give that Gibson guitar to my daddy, because he never did get that Gibson guitar all those years. And she was fine with that. As it turns out, that contest was about a week or two before his birthday in May. So I made the trip to Florida, took the guitar with me, and he's always anxious to see which guitar I was bringing home from a contest. He was always so proud of that. He kept track of the amount I win, and he'd always tell me how many I'd won to that point and things like this. So I knew he'd want to see the guitar. He said, "Doggone, it's a Gibson." I said, "Yeah." And he opened it up, and he's looking it all over, and he played a few chords on it, and you could just see he was like, "Wow, it's really nice, you know." Then I said, "There's something else in the case you need to see too." Well, I had written a letter, and it basically said, "Look, you and I butted heads for many years. I looked back at the relationship that he had with his daddy," and I told him that. And I said, it reminded me a lot of mine and his relationship. And I didn't want my kids to go without, like I went without my grandpa those years or whatever. And so this guitar is yours, and I hope you enjoy it. I only saw my daddy cry twice in my life. And once was at his daddy's funeral, and the other time was when he read that letter. He sat there on the couch and he cried about it. And he, of course, like, "You didn't have to do that." And I did. I had to do that. So this was his guitar. But I wanted to bring it out for this video because it's Father's Day. And I wanted to play a couple of songs on it that I knew he liked. We miss you, Daddy. So I hope you've enjoyed today's story about the guitar, some of the playing. And if you have, feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel and look around for other videos. And there'll be some more of these coming out soon. And believe me, when this is all done, I'm going to have a heck of a blooper reel to put out too. Those will be fun. So thanks for watching, y'all.